Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com. Coming to look at game 331, 332, Cincinnati and Memphis. Memphis an 11-point favorite, total of 57 for this Friday game. Over at BangTheBook.com, thoughts on this and all of the Week 14 matchups in college football, including my college football power ratings and some situational betting tips to help you out with some of the different factors that are at play here for this week. We're also covering college basketball, the NBA, and the NHL on a daily basis over there. NFL on a weekly basis as well. A lot of good stuff rolling out as we get closer to the weekend, including Danny Vorgs' updated model projections for Sunday's games as well as Monday Night Football between the Vikings and the Seahawks. And we got a video preview from Brian Blessing right here on our Bang the Book YouTube page for that game. Make sure you check out Bang the Book Radio every Monday through Friday as well. Segments right here on our YouTube page. And you can find us wherever you stream and download your podcast content. Cincinnati and Memphis, a lot of interesting things to talk about here for this game, which is one of the reasons why, despite some better games and some bigger rivalries, I decided to isolate this one for a video preview here. Cincinnati has already won the AAC East, so they are already going to the conference championship game next week, no matter what happens here in this one. Memphis needs a win or a Navy loss, and Navy's minus 7.5 against Houston here in order to secure the AAC West division. So Memphis, win and you're in, or have to hope to get some help. If Memphis wins, you've got these two teams next week right back here in the same spot down in Bluesville in Memphis, Tennessee for this conference championship game. So that's kind of an interesting little factor here. Another factor in play is that the top group of 5 team gets to a New Year's 6 bowl berth. That right now would be Cincinnati or Memphis. Boise State, couple spots behind them. Appalachian State, couple spots behind that. So you've also got these two teams vying for that New Year's bowl berth. So that's part of the equation here too. And that's what makes this game really interesting is that we're going to find out probably pretty quickly how much Cincinnati worries about that New Year's 6 bowl berth or if they just want to win this conference because they've got an injured quarterback in Desmond Ridder who's been playing through some stuff over the last few weeks here, and they play Memphis next week, assuming Memphis wins. Now, of course, if you're Cincinnati, who would you rather play, Memphis or Navy? Where then you'd have to prep for that triple option attack. I've got to think you'd rather take your chances against Memphis here, although neither option particularly appealing for the Bearcats. But the thing of it is, how much do you want to show this week if you're Luke Fickell and the offensive coaching staff if you play Memphis next week? My guess is probably not a whole lot. But even more so than that, this Cincinnati team, 2-point win last week against Temple. They have been outgained in 6 of their last 7 games, and they've won all 6 of them. I'm not talking getting outgained by 10 or 15 yards or something like that, some garbage time yardage. They've been outgained by 82, 30, 60, 176, 160, and 100 in those 6 games that they've won out of their last 7. The only game where they outgained the opposition was against UConn, and UConn is absolutely abysmal. So Cincinnati living very right, living very lucky on the turnover margin side. Probably should have lost to East Carolina a few weeks ago without that game-changing pick 6. Cincinnati is a regression team. Plain and simple, they're a regression team here as we go forward, not just this week, not just next week, but potentially in their bowl game as well. As I mentioned, quarterback Desmond Ridder is not healthy. 43 of 90, 3-3 ratio in the month of November for only 437 yards. This is a guy that's just not throwing the ball well, not completing his passes, hasn't been as effective in the running game either. So big worry there for Cincinnati with their quarterback. Now, we look at this game and we think, okay, offense versus defense, right? Memphis brings the offense. Cincinnati brings the defense. That's true to a degree. Memphis, 6th in the country in yards per play on offense. Cincinnati, 29th in the country in yards per play allowed. However, Memphis is 33rd in the country in yards per play allowed. So this Memphis defense has actually been very, very good this year, much better than anybody thought they would be coming into the season. That is an adjustment that you should make regarding the Tigers here in their remaining games. Even with Ohio State on the schedule, Cincinnati 75th in strength of schedule, Memphis 77th. So no big gap between these two teams in that department. Again, Memphis needs this game more. Cincinnati would probably like that New Year's Six bowl berth, but winning the conference probably means more to them than that New Year's Six bowl game. I like Memphis minus 11 here. Again, Cincinnati a regression candidate. Memphis needs the game. More importantly, I like Memphis minus 6.5 in the first half. Because if this is not a game in the second half, Memphis probably going to pack it away too. Not get anybody hurt. Maybe take Brady White. Maybe take Gainwell. Maybe take some of their skill guys out of the equation here. And this could be a very boring running clock type of second half with a lot of backups in the game. Could have an impact on the total of 57 as well. But I like Memphis minus 6.5 for the first half. If you've got to play the full game, Memphis minus 11 for that. We could see Ben Bryant even get the start here for Cincinnati. Desmond Ridder was questionable 2 weeks ago, wound up going, didn't look very good last week. Maybe Luke Fickell and the coaching staff opt to give Ridder the week off, try to get him healthy for next week's game. A lot of moving parts, a lot of layers to this handicap, but ultimately Memphis minus 6.5 or Memphis minus 11 for the full game. The two things that I like here in this matchup. I'm Adam Burke for BangTheBook.com.